Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Brown Circus. This video is just basically going to be an update. I know it's been a long time since we did a video, and I've had quite a few people reach out to me over the past few weeks just asking how I am doing, how the girls are doing. So I thought I'd put together just a little video to kind of show we haven't fallen off the face of the earth and we're doing okay. There's a lot of things that have been going on, a lot of changes that we've made. Some of them are really big changes. Some of them are going to be big changes, but I will get to all that here in a second. But to just give you an update on what we've been up to, really over the past 6 months, it's been a lot of family time, a lot of cleaning, a lot of change, a lot of movement. Some of the bigger things that we've done is in September, we had a birthday party for Lisa where we had a couple people come over and we just did a pizza party. It was kind of a nice little thing. And then the very next day we went off to Disneyland with our friends Simon and Tam. It's been a week out there. We, got to experience a lot of first or new first for the girls. So it wasn't their first flight, but it's been a long time since they flew. So they got to experience flying into Anaheim and flying into Austin. They did their quote-unquote first taxi ride. Again, not their first taxi ride, but one that they're gonna remember. We had the chance to meet Lisa's team out in Disneyland, which was actually a really neat experience. And I'm so thankful for all that they did for Lisa, that they did for us during those the past few years, quite honestly. But it was a really great opportunity to get out there and talk with them. Tiana's had just opened. We got to do the Nightmare Before Christmas for the Haunted Mansion version. A really big hit for us was Avengers Campus and doing Web Slingers, Guardians Breakout, just meeting all the characters. Avengers Campus was actually a really special place for us because, as you know, and you can kind of see behind me, Avengers played a really big part of helping us bond as a family and really get through all the struggles. So I actually ended up sending a nice message to the guest relations team, and hopefully the team over there understood or got a chance to read it and hear it and just talk about how, as cast members, you kind of, these magical moments, we talked about them all the time, but sometimes it's not for happy and exciting reasons. Sometimes you just need to understand that it can be more. The first time we stepped on Avengers Campus and heard the music, it brought tears to kind of all of our eyes because it's a lot of things that just got us through those tough times, whether it be through treatments or just bonding as a family. We got a chance to do the Oogie Boogie Bash, which was awesome. Everybody dressed up as some of Lisa's favorites. So if you know us, Halloween is a big time for our family. And it was really hard to come up with a theme this year. So we ended up deciding on just what is something that you did with mommy that you enjoyed. So for me, it was wrestling. For Janelle, it was they really enjoyed Stranger Things together. Lisa and Jasmine had a big bond over Marvel, so Lisa went as Loki. Tam went as a boy band, and Simon went as Beaches and Cream Server. So those were just really cool moments to go through. That had a lot of fun at Disneyland and California Adventure, a lot of firsts, just going through some rides and different attractions and nighttime spectaculars. We actually had a really cool opportunity to have some VIP seating for the parades and for World of Color, thanks to Lisa's team. And again, brought a lot of great memories and a lot of great new memories to the family. We got to go to the Angels Stadium for one inning, which is a whole story in itself, which I'll get to in a different video. And then, we got to go to In-N-Out for the first time and just generally have a really good time since Lisa had passed away. It was the first time that we had gone out and actually had some fun. So that was great. And thank you to Simon and Tam for going, because there's no way we would have done that trip without their help. In October, we had a lot of basketball. So the girls have started elite basketball training. So it's kind of like AAU. Or it is an AAU team, but we started our training back in October, and they got to experience what it's like when dad goes from dad to elite coach mode. And it's been really interesting. We even bought them a grind machine, so now they've been out there practicing that. We went over to Epcot, did the Journey of Water and Space 220 and experienced that with mom and dad. We also actually spent some time finding our legacy out there. I knew that Lisa and I had done Leave a Legacy a long time ago. So we found that, and that was actually kind of a nice little thing to have. And a new tradition for us is anytime we go to Epcot, we just visit the Leave a Legacy and say hi to Mommy. The girls made the honor roll that month, and then obviously for us we had Halloween and really just the fun that comes with that. November, we went and saw LeBron James for the first time around my birthday.
The Los Angeles Lakers. And one forward, 6'9", from St. Vincent St. Mary's, number 23, LeBron James. 6'8", from Duke. The final score, your Magic 120. Los Angeles 101.
What that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
Also celebrated my birthday by going to the Magic versus the Celtics.
The final score, your Magic 113. Boston 96. 96-9 again, and the 740. Here's the Magic head coach.
And then went to the Tampa Bay versus Titans games with the Sears.
Well, that was f***ing dreadful.
And then December brought a whole new array of adventures between ice skating, celebrating Jasmine's 13th birthday. We did our annual golf carts at Fort Wilderness.
Blueberries. Anybody want blueberries?
Janelle had a Lion Beats performance, which was good with school. We did our Santa 5K. Joelle came for a visit, which was, again, another tough moment, but actually it was really good to see her. Don't tell her I said that. And then we did something that Lisa always liked to do, but funny enough, we all hated to do, was the resorts, the Magic Kingdom resorts, Christmas decorations. None of us liked doing it. We all thought it was kind of a waste of the day in the past, but for Lisa, the girls and I went, and we enjoyed all the decorations, enjoyed the treats, and really just enjoyed the moment. And then probably one of the bigger adventures is we went to New York for Christmas and New Year's Day. So we got to travel on Christmas Day, went and saw family. We saw Lisa's history, we went to her schools, we went to her jobs that she had had. We got to visit the New Hartford Fire Station, and that was really fun with the girls and with the boys. You know, I know they've been there a couple of times, but it was really cool to see them interact with all the same stuff that their dad and grandfather did. Went and did some escape rooms, went and saw some Christmas lights. We visited Niagara Falls for the first time, and then the girls went snow tubing. Janelle actually went twice, but that was a lot of fun for them to get out on the snow and play in the snow. They had seen snow, but never really had the chance to play in it. We had a chance to go to the Syracuse women's basketball game versus Notre Dame and sat on the floor. That was pretty neat. And then we rang in the new year with family and flew out the very next day. So that was kind of a whirlwind tour. Had a couple things happen in January, but probably the biggest one was Bella passed away. She was almost 14. And really, she just reached a point where life caught up to her, and we didn't want her to suffer anymore. She was struggling getting up and doing the standard things that a dog should do. But after 14 years, we all had made peace with the fact of it was time for Bella to join Mommy and to join Mickey. And I think the hardest part about all of that was just going back through all the medical procedures. You know, I know the girls struggled with having somebody come in and take care of Bella. I struggled with watching someone or something else that I love pass away in our home and then help carry them out again. That was harder. That was harder than I thought it was going to be. But it was a moment that happened, and we love Bella, and I said it best to the girls. I said, you know, now Mommy's got her dog and she's got her cat and she's happy. So that was probably the biggest thing for January. February, again, we started to play more for the elite basketball stuff and go to some AAU tournaments. We got to see Andrea and her family. They came down, and then we went to a UCF game with the basketball team. And not only did we get to meet the players, which was a really cool opportunity, but we got to see a Chinook helicopter take off just right in front of us. They were doing a whole military thing there that day, and that was pretty awesome. And then as for March, was probably another whirlwind tour. We got to do another Solar Bears game in a suite with all of our friends, which was really awesome. And we just got back just a few days ago from spring break and going to Nashville and Memphis, which I'm going to do a whole nother video for that. We're going to get back to doing those videos. But just know it was a great time. And again, couldn't have done it without Laura, Lindsay, Cody, help. Tucker, Marisa, Adam, Cassie and her family, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to forget you guys, and all their parents. Just had a really good chance. Andrea, we got to see Andrea, but again, I digress. That'll be in the next video. Okay, so now that gets through really all of what we've been doing, let's talk about some of these changes. So the first biggest change that I want to put out there, and this will probably shock a lot of people, is I actually quit Disney. I ran into a scenario where I couldn't do it all. I couldn't be super dad, super employee, super son, super friend. And really it just reached a boiling point. And to really summarize it, I had to take a look back and realize, what are the things that I'm going to miss? Am I going to miss, you know, possibly retiring a few years earlier? Or am I going to miss these critical years for Jasmine and Janelle? You know, the way I looked at it is Jasmine can drive in 3 years, Janelle can drive in 5. And they've never needed me more in their life than they do right now. And I just decided that, you know what, for the time being, thankfully, Lisa left us in a very good financial situation. And I don't have to work right now. Now, I'm not saying I'm retiring. There are future plans, which I will throw up on the screen real fast. And if you pause it, maybe you can see what some of those are. But there are plans in the future to continue working. Just for right now, though, it's trying to reset. There were a lot of things just at home that needed to be taken care of, in addition to the girls. So I mentioned we've done a lot of changes throughout the house. So there are subtle changes. We're trying to find this good balance between remembering the past, but also giving room for the future. And that's everything from how the house is decorated to really pictures and layouts of things. The whole goal is to not forget the past, but put the past in a place to where it also gives some room for growth. So my main fear, and really just if you're watching this, my main fear is I don't want people walking into our house, something that Lisa and I took a lot of pride in, and making it welcoming, and not only for our own family, but for our friends who we consider family. And I don't want anybody walking in feeling like it's the same day Lisa passed away. Even this office, you know, there's some new neons up. I'm kind of blocking some things. This was actually one of the first rooms that was changed just because it was Lisa's office. So had to create some space for us to grow into it. And through the kitchen, through the living room, through the bedrooms, the downstairs, really a lot of rooms we've at least tried to change it a little bit so it feels more new and has room for growth. Yeah, another big change, this is going to be the last video that is done under the Brown Circus banner. So we're going to keep the video, keep the channel, all that stuff, but we are going to rename it. You know, we've talked that it's hard for us to talk about the Brown Circus because that was really something that we did with Mommy and it was chaotic. So a new name will be coming. The new name is going to be We Go On. And if you know Lisa and I, you know our history. We Go On was the final song after Illuminations, and it was something that played at our wedding that was a really big moment for us, where it just talks about moving forward, carrying each other day by day, and it felt very fitting for this to be We Go On. And that's, again, it's actually not to forget Lisa. it's to commemorate the fact of, no, we're going to continue to go on. So you may see this in the video. The channel name may have already changed, but just know if you see it, it is on purpose. So we'll be We Go On going forward. New intro, all this other fun stuff. I've been asked a little bit about how I feel, and I'm going to tell you, I am kind of all over the place a little bit. The 7 stages of grief are an absolute lie. You don't progress through them. You just experience them as they come. So there are some times where there are sad moments. There are times where, let's be honest, it's continuing with the future. Small confession to everybody who watches this video. There were a lot of times people would ask in the moments when we were going through the visits and we were going through the treatments and just how I got through it. And I lied. I lied to everybody because I pretty much left it as, oh, you know, you take it day by day. But the reality is when it was quiet and I was by myself, or, you know, the house had calmed down for the night, there was a lot of thinking about what does the future actually look like. You know, I knew what we were up against. I knew that the stats were what they were. We could hope, we could pray, we could do all the treatments, but the reality was at some point this may be where we ended up. So there's a lot of things that are happening right now, or mentally, that I've had 3 years to think about. These aren't things that just happened over the past 6 months. You know, everything from how we're changing the house. You know, I didn't want to leave the house because this is the girls' house. This is the house that Lisa and I wanted us to grow up in, or the girls to grow up in, and us to grow up in as well. So leaving the house wasn't really an option, but the changes, although they may seem fast and spontaneous, have been thought for years. Leaving Disney, you know, I've jokingly said the headline reads, "Single father quits job." You know, not the greatest of headlines, and I'll tell you, from, you know, my mom to a couple friends that immediately were like, "Hey, are you sure you're okay?" You know, those weren't things that just happened because Lisa passed away. They had been thought through for a while. And when I say a while, I mean years. You know, continuing to play basketball, continuing to push the girls that way. That was it's a thought. All those jobs that I've talked about, those were thoughts as well. You know, I went to school to be a business entrepreneur. I didn't go to school to retire at Disney with 35 years. All the statues, there may even be some behind me. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the camera to see reverse. You know, I never wanted any of those statues. I didn't want to be the guy that retired at, you know, 30, 40 years with a watch from a company. That's not what I wanted to do. And thankfully we got some breathing room to at least try it. You know, choosing the girls over everything else, that was on purpose. Again, not something where it's like, oh, the world, it's too much and I'm just going to default to my family. And even though that's what some people do, and that's perfectly fine, you know, it's something that I thought through for a really long time. And, you know, everything from the new jobs, which I mentioned, to future relationships, like, those are all things that I've had years to think about. They don't tell you that. When you're going through this as a caretaker, they don't talk about the lonely moments by yourself where all you have is time to think about the future. And I understand that now. You know, I think one of the biggest things through some of the groups that I've joined, and really the biggest one is the Widowers Network, which if you know anybody that's going through it, there's a group on Facebook that's for widowers, which I didn't know is men. There are widows and then widowers, so something new that I've learned. But there's a whole group that's dedicated to it. And what I've learned as I go through it is nobody's journey is the same. Everybody starts in a different place. Everybody feels a different way. You know, people that get married beforehand, if you had told me somebody got married less than a year after their spouse passed away, I would look at them with disgust and really think, how could you do that? But, you know, I've seen stories where guys, you know, their wife was in a coma for 10 years and they stuck it out. And then when it was over, they had done their part. They moved on. On the other side, you know, there are people that don't want to get remarried, don't want to look at other individuals. They're happy with where they are. And then there are others where they more or less just kind of fall off the wagon and need that attention. You know, for me personally, I'm kind of in the camp of like, I enjoy life. I enjoy the beauty of life. And now that I've gone through this journey with Lisa, I cherish life more than ever and the time that we have, and why wait around for some things? No, I'm not actively, looking to go on websites or anything. That stuff still kind of scares me a little bit, but just in general, this idea of moving forward, yeah, that's kind of all encompassing of everything that I'm trying to do right now for the girls, for me, for our friends, for our family. Remember, but still move forward, because life has to go on. I saw a story from a father that he talked about, his wife passed away earlier in the day. She had been sick. She had cancer. And she passed away earlier in the day while the kids were at school. And he told them, they pulled him out of school. He told them, went room to room. They had 3 kids. So he goes to each kid's room and spends a couple of hours, and they're all mourning and everybody's sad. And he goes, my wife passed away around like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. And at 4 o'clock, my youngest walks into the room and goes, "Dad, I'm hungry." And he goes, in that moment, I had to realize I'm still parenting. Like, you have to grieve, but you also have to move on. So that's where I am. Still grieving, but also trying to figure out how to move on. If you have any questions, I know I'm not going to cover it all in this video and I don't want to go forever, but feel free to leave them in the comments. And other than that, thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you soon.